Okay, a quick video on Apple. I know a lot of people are trading this, so let's just take a quick look at it. This is a weekly chart. So this is still very nice and bullish. It's been for quite a while, has not broke the 200-day moving average. Recently we had a test of it and it held up. The MACD is lightening up a little bit. The RSI still over 40. So for the bullish cases, technically it still looks good. I have an alert set down here. I'm going to just call it, it's pretty close. It's just an area, 92.79, 92.50, whatever. It's just an area. So it's not going to be exact, it's be close. What I'm looking for is here, as you can see, we had a number of times at this top here, 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everything kind of broke down. It kind of gave you a little heads up right here. Going into April, it looked like the MACD histogram was starting to go negative. The RSI was way up, so that kind of gave you a little bit. Came down here to almost the 200-day moving average, then bounced hard from there and came back up. This is making now a case of lower highs and almost lower lows. I want to put in really quick here a little channel just to see what we're kind of dealing with here. And let's just do this. I'm going to forget that. Okay. So now the case is still bullish. It's still held up. Now this is a huge area right here. If it were to break this, then this thing gets bearish quickly, and I love this area right down here to where I said before is going to be right around, I'm going to say around $80. Yeah, let's call it about 79, 70. I think it's actually a little lower because I like to pick the middle of most of these candles, kind of a common area. So I'm going to say, just really quick, I'm going to look at 76, call it 76 and a half. So that's the area if it were to break down here, but it has to confirm, it has to break down. Now the reason that I'm short on Apple, I know it's not the typical trade that I do. It's a little bit more of a gamble, but I have been watching their suppliers. I've been watching everything that they're doing right now. I think that they're going to have a little bit of a negative report, and I think that could be enough to push them down through here. And if it does, it gets bearish very quick. It'll surprise a lot of people, and you'll still have some buyers step in because people love Apple, but it's going to have a flush. If it doesn't, the overall markets have not been doing really good. So even on a good report, the worst case scenario I think is this thing moves up to maybe an overhead area, and then kind of pulls back, flushes down, and eventually gets to the target where it gets below this. But you have to wait for confirmation, so the confirmation has got to be below the 92.79, 92.50, in that area. It has to break down first. I'm early on the trade just because I think that earnings are going to be bad, but it's more of a gamble, so I don't really want to see anybody else really take this trade like that. But this would have to return, is the way I have the channel, to return to the favor of the bulls. Even if this thing runs up to $110, it still doesn't change the fact that the trend is now changed a little bit. So this thing would have to get back here above 110, kind of snap around here a little bit, and then get some momentum and move back up to the 120s, and then push up to the highs here. So the bears have a little bit of a while before that's going to happen. I think so. You have to kind of look around. It's going to be a trade. It's going to be tradable in this area, I would imagine. You have to watch these areas here. We have the area at 110, and the next one is clearly defined around 122, and then of course you're back up into here around 130, 132. So those are the areas you need to watch, and it's going to be an interesting week for sure. And I'm going to see if we can get this to break down here a little bit after earnings. If it does, it'll work out to be a nice trade. If not, and it goes up, then we see what happens after a couple of days, and if it can get momentum and turn bullish again. And if not, it might be a new opportunity to take the profit off the earning if you're long it. and go short on it. So just kind of a couple thoughts on there. I hope this helped a little bit. There's really not a lot to do with it right now. And if you are along this thing, then you want to make sure you have your stops along here anyways, 92.5. So, all right, that's about all for this one.